Yeah, that's fun. Hey, everybody. Johnny O from the Plot Hole with my good buddy Irish Demon. We are one short of a party, as you can probably tell. Let you guys guess which one did not show. It has not shown yet. Raise your hand if you're surprised. Put your hand down.
I just heard raise your hand, and then I cut it off there. I was like, yep.
Clyde Wells says, message deleted.
Oh, yes. So I still haven't received an email back from him either, unfortunately.
Yeah. How you like that?
How'd you like that?
The guy was so ready to do it. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
And no show.
So far, no show. So we're working on getting another contestant or debate.
Absolutely.
We'll see what happens.
I'm pretty much down to take on anybody, really. The thing for me is I'm going to be approaching this whole thing. I don't need to argue physics. I can to some extent. I'm not great with physics. I don't mind admitting that, but I don't need to argue from physics at all. So I'm going to be arguing it from a totally different viewpoint altogether. So
yeah,
that's the plan anyway.
Oh, hey, Gary, if you want to join and, you want to test your mettle against good old Demon here, you're more than welcome to hop on.
Absolutely. I'd appreciate it. I had a conversation the other night with Eftupworld. He was on my show, and he took on Faux Hammer at the last minute, and he was a lovely guest to have on the show. He really was. Very down-to-earth guy, if you excuse the pun. Just a lovely, lovely dude. He was really, really chill, really laid back, and we actually had a really nice conversation, which was refreshing. Because, a lot of the time these can turn into an absolute shit show. And I'm not saying that won't happen, because I have got a temperature hotter than the thermal sphere, as a few people like to call it. So
don't you mean the firmament?
The firmament, or just the what was it he called it? The Atmos.
The Atmos. Yeah, we can't say atmosphere. It's the Atmos. The Atmos plane, bro.
Atmos plane, bro. Jess Kitten says you were here to debate round versus fat. You're both. Oh, Jesus. It begins. But yeah, even if it's not an atmosphere, at the very least, based on what they say and what we see, it would have to be at least an semisphere, right? Because they say it's like a big fishbowl just plonked on top of us.
Yeah, so it's spherical, at least half of it.
Why do we need that container though? Like, if there's no space, why do we need the container?
Exactly. Again, Gary Wybinga. Look, if you want to take Eftupworld's place, let me know. I'll get you.
Absolutely, Gary. I'll happily. It doesn't have to be like a full-on debate or whatever. We can just have a conversation, see if we can come to some maybe middle ground or agreements. Do you know?
Right. Always good times. We're going to give him a few more. Like I said, I haven't received. I sent him an email or two. You sent him an email.
I did, yeah. Nothing coming through, unfortunately. And my understanding is usually he's pretty good to show up. I mean, he showed up with my debate like immediately. He was ready to go. It did take him a little bit of time to tech, so it could be that maybe, but
I guess it could be. If this was easy, I got to just click a link and then you're in. Boom, simple.
That's true. That is true. A lot of it was my fault though, because I can't tech, so it could have been me. In fact, it most likely was me. So
Brandon Worrell, yes. To answer that question, absolutely. Shoot me an email at theplothole1@gmail.com.
I'll debate him on that. If he wants to debate me on that right now, I'll do that. And I'm not even really into evolution, but I'll give it a go. So yeah, and even by that same principle, it doesn't even need to be an overly scientific debate on my part, because a lot of it's just going to come from common sense.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah, hey Gary, don't forget about STSD. I'm here. Let's go, you and me. Show me how you're right and I'm wrong. Let's do it.
I don't know what story you're talking about. So I have no idea. I'm not for certain. I'm not privy to that story. Even though I try to keep my finger on the pulse of the community, there are a lot of players in this community, so it can be difficult from time to time.
There is. Joe Whip, STSD is Seek Truth, Speak Truth. Craig, lovely guy. His new channel is awesome, by the way.
Evolution has failed. Donald Trump was voted into the White House. Pretty sure that was a nail in the coffin for evolution failures. That's very, very.
It could be one of them. Hey, like people talk a lot about Donald Trump, but I would just for anybody who's interested in politics or all that kind of stuff, whatever about Donald Trump, have a look at what's going on in Italy at the moment. You'll thank me later. It's quite shocking. It's getting pretty bad over there. So,
well, we're not in Italy. We're in America.
We're in America. This is America, damn it.
This is America. We don't care.
Goddamn America, damn it. Why did my dog bark? What's wrong with you?
Brandon Worrell says, can't have it here on your laptop. Why not? You don't have speakers or headphones on your laptop. If you can do Meets, you can do StreamYard.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
I mean, yeah, Brandon. So if you can do Meets, you can do StreamYard. You can take it's just all I got to do. If it's on your phone, it's the same way. You just click a link. Exact same thing. Let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. I've joined on my phone countless times. Actually, I can count them. It was approximately 4 times.
At least Italy can't blow up the world. This is true.
It can cause it to blow up, though.
Yeah.
You have to remember that during World War II, even though Italy was seen as kind of a laughable, second fiddle to Germany, it was an incredibly powerful country. It had a lot of power over North Africa. Yeah. And there are a lot of people in Italy, and there are a lot of really angry people in Italy. So there's a guy there. I think I'll have to brush up on this because it's been a couple of weeks. So there's a guy there. I think his name is Salvini, Matteo Salvini, and he is the former deputy prime minister of Italy. This guy is, and I'm not even kidding, an actual fascist, not just somebody who disagrees with somebody on a very basic thing. Because I've been called a fascist for disagreeing about silly things on the internet. This guy's a legit fascist. I mean, he really is, and he has every intention of becoming a dictator, essentially. And if you see his following in Italy, it is just mind-blowing. It is terrifying. And the situation in Germany is starting to turn that way now as well. If you look at the far-right extremism in Germany, you look at the far-right extremism in America, and then you match that against Germany. And tell me if you see the same thing. It's 2 very different things.
Sure.
Yeah. It's in Italy though. It is terrifying to see how bad it's gotten. It's really bad.
A little bit, yeah. The fact that it's fucking Germany and Italy again. That's
again. Yeah. I was listening to a really interesting video yesterday. Political analyst. He's from. Where is he from? He's from some institute in Greece. Somebody in the chat might know. They're an institute in Greece that are completely neutral. They don't. It doesn't matter how extreme or hateful a group is. They're very neutral on how they read into things. And he was explaining about how Italy in particular, Germany, Austria, and Poland, those particular 4 countries have such a propensity to far-right extremism and why they do. And a lot of it is because of where they are and what they sit between. And because they're a target for immigration, obviously, because they're more wealthy than the countries below them, that they basically end up with all of these issues where they blame immigration, they blame all of these things for their issues. And it's easy to do that in countries like Italy and Germany. And yeah, that's how that extremism starts. It's been an ongoing issue.
Nerthan Termson, good to see you, man. Says, "Oh yeah, there are
Hey,
42
Nerthan.
countries in the EU that have a lot of far right political parties. Some are even in power.
Absolutely.
I think I heard it's really bad in Greece at the moment.
It is really bad in Greece at the moment. Yeah, right across Europe right now, there is a very scary. And you know what? It makes me kind of think about how people, talk about this situation in the United States in particular, and how everybody's being called a fascist, everybody's being called a Nazi, and it's like using the term racist or other things. It basically deadens the meaning of those words. You know, we can agree that those people on the far right are really, really bad, but look at what's happening in Europe, where it's just out of control, like really, really bad.
PhD Tony says, at Irish Demon thinks most of Europe are below Germany, Italy, Australia, and Poland.
This is how World War I started. Way to go, Jim. Oh, shit, man.
Hey, Stinky Winky. I think she's talking to PhD Tony. Why is White Bingo still here? Because he's afraid to come into the actual debate. I don't know. My volume is low. How's that? Is that better? Let me know. Let me know.
That is better, actually.
That's better? Yeah, good. Gary, I see you. You're like, doing a lot of this. Yeah. Jump in, hop in.
I'm here, man. I'll be more than respectful to you. I have no ill will against you. I've seen you in the chat a lot in the past, and you seem to say a lot of things, but don't actually back them up. And I'm not being nasty. I'm willing to have a conversation with you. I'm no FTFE. I'm no Team Skeptic. I'm no
More importantly,
I'm
no Team Skeptic or FTFE. I'm also no James from Modern Day Debate. I actually moderate.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is I don't have the vast knowledge that those boys have. I'm just talking about common sense.
All right.
So I'm open to just having a conversation, having a debate, becoming the supreme leader of Central Europe, whatever. I'm down with that. With all PhD Tony's help, we will get there. We shall overcome. It's yeah.
Like I said, Gary Wybinga, let me know. Here, I'll put my email in the chat. You spell it right. How's the move planning? How's all that going?
It's going really, really well. We're getting there. Our biggest issue now is shipping stuff back home. It's
I've noticed your shelves are bare.
Yeah. So most of the stuff I've now packed away. Now it's a matter of deciding what's worth bringing home and what's not. So, for example, I've got my little shrimp tanks that I love. They're not expensive. They're like $60 for the whole set, but they're hard to get in Ireland. But it'll cost me $60 each to send them home pretty much at this point, because shipping's become so expensive because there's less aircraft in the air at the moment.
Right.
So it's weighing up whether or not it's worth it to send certain things home or to leave them here is tough.
Can you do one of those like freight crates?
I can, but here's the problem. It goes through
Africa, Southern Africa, and there's pirates.
Usually, it goes through the Straits of Hormuz, and there's pirates.
Bark.
I thought that was mine. I was like, God, they sounded loud. But so the problem is, you can only get a small shipping container, and we have a lot of stuff, but not enough to fill one. So, like, financially, it wouldn't make sense. We could bring our couches and all our desks and shit with us, but where are we going to put them? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, meh. So it's like, we're going to have a house sale in the last 2 weeks where people can just come in and point at what they want and just buy it. And I'll just give it to them really, really cheap. Yeah, just like, all our, because I've got lots of pot plants and, desks and tables
they have a lot
and
couches
of what? And shit.
A lot of what?
Potted plants. Potted. I do not have one of those other ones anymore. Oh, John Eagle, that sounds good. Did I not send you my address yet, John Eagle? I thought I sent it to you. I'm sorry. I was explaining to people the other day, I have a disease called procrastinitis. John Eagle, will you email me when you get a chance to irishdemonvids@gmail.com, just with the header in all caps? Send me your address for booze, and I will send that to you straight away whenever you get a chance, and I'll do that right off. And I know, I'm so sorry, man. I'm awful. I'm so bad at that kind of stuff.
Jessica, that's actually a really good point, especially when you're trying to do shows like these. This is one of the reasons why I tend to not want to do flat Earth debates, because a lot of these people will bark a lot and then never show. That and the fact that it's tough me moderating an objective fact, but I can do that. I can be objective when it comes to this.
I just got that email. I can see it there now. I will send that to you right away. Thank you so much.
Come on, Gary. Don't be scary. Don't be scary, Gary. Zachariah Hooper. What happened to Eftupworld? I have no idea. He hasn't responded to emails. He's got the link. Send an email. I'm just waiting on him to show. He knew that was going to be today. But, you know, typical FLERF behavior, I guess. Just tell us all your address live at Irish TV. It won't be your address for very much longer, so there's a good thing.
Yeah, so I could probably tell people. Then the poor next people will get dick confetti in the post.
That would be awesome.
I happened at work one time. I was new to the job. I'd just been sworn in, and my senior officer was, shall we say, she was a nice lady, but she was a difficult lady, and she had amassed a certain amount of people who had a bit of a dislike to her, who had taken a dislike to her way of doing things. So she wasn't very popular. And we were at what we call the PSCP, which is the primary security checkpoint. So when you walk through an airport or, you know, a federal court or a federal law enforcement building, you'll see a little thin strip of mirror. That's not for checking your makeup. That's for us to check you. Right. And so it's where we do our counterterrorism screening. It's where we do our paraphernalia screening, all that kind of stuff. And we were standing just outside that window while she was, you know, doing some screening or whatever. And the male guy came up. He was like, "Hey, there's a package for you." And she said, "Oh, yeah, great." And she opened this thing and it just went poof. And there was a cloud of confetti dicks. And we were picking up little dicks for weeks after that. They were everywhere. And so from that point on, we were like, we can't. So, yeah, her nickname then after that became Confetti Dick. So it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Confetti dicks.
So yeah, she got covered in confetti dicks, and then of course there was hilarious. As much as I don't like the idea of people harassing the guy, the card that somebody sent to Daniel Pratt was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That, you know,
here's the thing. That's where the funny stops, right? You send him a card. Yeah. It's a dick card. He opens it up. There's a dick in his face. Cool. That's funny.
Hilarious.
It's hilarious, right? And then he gets on there and shows it on his channel and all that stuff. Look, it's you know, it's funny. Daniel Pratt even laughed. He even thought it was funny.
I think he got a good kick out of it. He saw the harmless fun in it.
Exactly. Know? It's when people started sending repair people out and whatnot, because you're not wasting Daniel Pratt's time. You're wasting the repair people's time.
And you're making his day, actually, because it gives him a chance to, you know, make a video and be a victim. And then that person who's had to come out and deal with that shit has to listen to that guy. You don't know that guy's job could be on the bones of its arse. You know, the cost of fuel to get out to that guy might have been enough to push, you know, his costs over the edge. So it's tough out there for people, man. So I wouldn't send people. That's awful. I feel bad for those guys. Oh, Sabercat, I am working on it at the moment. I'm just trying to work through it and figure out. Actually, I'll just ask you while I'm here, because I always forget to type things that I mean to say. Would you like me to do it where I just read the line? So if I say the name of the character, then read the line, then pause, then say the name of the next character and read the line like that? Is that how you'd like me to do it? So are you planning on fitting in other people's voices in between? Is that roughly what your plan is? And that way then I can work out what way to read it. I'm all set up and ready to go though, so I'm excited to do it. It's really, really good too, by the way. It's really great.
Yeah, she comes over and says, I got an Irish team to do this. Like, awesome, that's really cool. She goes, and you're gonna do the I said, I am? She said, yeah. Like, oh, okay, let's do it.
That may have been my idea.
To be the
I may have planted the seed for you to do some of the editing. You may be able to blame me for that one. But she did an awesome job. Like the writing is really, really good. And it's fantastic. Oh, here she comes.
Yes.
Hi.
Hey, be careful.
Hello.
That's all the camera gets. You need to make sure it's zipped up. It's zipped up. It's good.
Okay, I'm just gonna set this right here. I came to answer the demon's questions.
You did.
Yep.
You could have answered it from upstairs.
True, but it'd be easier. It'd be harder to type it all down.
Oh, I see. All right, so
She's got a good point there.
Yeah, she does.
And
have
my
a good point.
attention span's pretty bad.
And yeah, his attention span's pretty bad. Hang on a second. There you go. You should be able to talk now.
Alrighty. Can everyone hear me?
We sure can.
But you can put the headphones on.
Oh, right. I can.
Whoa. I know. I got to clean out my desk.
You really do.
Oh, really? This coming from? How's your room look?
We don't talk about that. Also, headphones aren't plugged in.
Yes, they are.
I can't hear the demon
because I got to turn it up. I got to turn the volume up.
Okay, there we go.
There it is.
Yeah, to answer your question, Mr. Demon, I'm going to get more voice actors and such for everything I'm doing. In fact, on YouTube, I'm going to be posting a bit of a voice acting tryouts and all that.
Excellent.
And I'm already pointing out people who are already taken, as in for like the narrator and such. Daddy's doing the narrator, and for you, you're obviously doing the twins, such as Damien and Dominic. I'm doing one of the main characters, Nora, and Isabella is wanting to know if she can do one of the characters, such as the little sister. Do you remember Emily?
Yep, that would be really good, actually.
So far, I'm currently drawing all the characters. Originally, I'm drawing them on paper, but then I'm having to redraw them on my phone, and it's just a really big process. Then I have to convert it all into a bit of a slideshow and all that. What are you doing?
I don't know. Messing with the lights.
It's fair.
Trying to make it not blow up your face so they can see how beautiful you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, he only wants us to see how beautiful he is. That's the problem.
True.
I'm not beautiful at all.
Hey, don't sell yourself short.
I'm not.
I agree with you, Constance, but he has got a good point.
But then why did Mama go for him?
Because she realized I could cook really good food.
I'm not lowering Mama's standards, but still, I'm not gonna be rude to her. But she does have a good taste in men.
I used to be much sexier when I was younger.
Am I allowed to say it?
You can say whatever you want. Well.
Not true.
I was going to say that's a dangerous thing to say. I was going to say
the same thing. But still, with all the voice acting and such, it should take me about a week or two to get all the drawings and such drawn out. I'm still working on Nora to start out. And then I'm going to move on to the twins next, and then Emily, yada yada. Because I have at least 7 to 8 people to draw, if I remember correctly.
You're going to have your work cut out?
Yeah, because for the
So are you planning on putting it together as like so it's a graphic novel, right? With the voiceover, which I think is a really good concept as well. So you're going to show each scene and then have the voice actors underneath it. Is that am I reading that right?
Yes.
Excellent. That's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see it finished.
Me neither. And originally I'm having some of my friends and I do it. My friend Ari and Tristan are going to help me. Ari is going to be doing all the animatronics and such. And for the first book, I want to clarify, I'm not going to have all the animatronics for the first book. That's going to be the second book.
Sure.
For the first book, it's only going to be a Nard appearing a few times. And then he's going to get serious. It's going to get serious. The second book is where I'm going to have tragedy and all that. We need a little tragedy in every book.
Ooh, you do. You got to keep it. You got to keep it spicy, right?
Yep. You want to know a little something I did, or would you like me to save it?
You should save it because there's a lot of people watching, and you want them to read the book.
True. I want them. To
you want them to read the book. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a really good point. But yeah, I'm hoping to get started on that this weekend. I've got a day off tomorrow, so my plan is to sit down and get that done. What I'll do is I'll do short snippet first. I'll just read a few lines. I'll send them to you, and you let me know then what you want me to change. So if you want me to change the accent a bit or make one sound a bit more angry or whatever, then you just send it back and let me know.
All right.
And I can change whatever you need.
Okay, well, I can go ahead and give you a brief thing on what I would like you to do.
Brilliant. That would be great.
For Damien, I want you to give him a bit of a serious voice sometimes. Still a little loose-ish, but a bit serious. And for Dominic, make him care for you as much as he'd like. Because
sounds good.
As I described him, he loves to roll with the punches, and he's outgoing.
Brilliant.
At the plot
I will do that.
Are you doing a workshop for this project so people know the energy levels and tone expected from voice actors? I don't think so. I'm not sure. We haven't really talked about that.
Filled that out yet. We'll probably do it eventually. And
Jessica G says accents. Maybe you should be debating the FLERF.
What do you mean by that?
Maybe you should be debating the FLERF.
Problem is they won't show up.
Well, I could schedule
Gary Wybinga. Look, hey, I'm not trying to like beat you up or anything, but again, come on. We're happy to have you. Happy to host this. Let you speak your piece, and you and Irish Demon can have a spirited yet moderated debate about the shape of the earth.
Well,
it's not my thing to just completely dump on people. I have done Nathan and a few others for good reason. But if you're coming in here respectful like Eftupworld was, even if you're not, I still tend to try to treat people with as much respect as I can. I can be a little bit hot in the head sometimes. I think most people that have watched my channel are fully aware of that. But no, I mean, I welcome a conversation with you and a chat with you, and hopefully we can figure it out. Maybe solve the world's problems.
We will solve the world's problems.
If it's about time for the debate, I should probably get back upstairs if you need me to.
You're going to go upstairs? Okay.
Only if it's time for the debate. Otherwise, we can continue talking about the novel, the graphic novel and all that.
You just going to take over the stream?
Not entirely. After all, he hasn't really showed up entirely yet.
He hasn't showed up at all.
He hasn't showed up at all, yeah. That's the thing.
Zachariah, that's a really good point. It's kind of a given, isn't it?
True.
Plot hole: the elder seems to be overestimating Irish Demon's potential range. She should consider rewriting the characters to be dumber and donut muffled.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think you understand how this novel's going to work.
PhD Tony's just being funny. He's making fun of Irish Demon.
Still,
I know it's hard to believe that PhD Tony can attempt to be funny. But
I've seen sarcastic humor in a lot.
I've got to say, I have found PhD Tony among everybody else to have given me more of a laugh than just about anybody. Because what I love about myself and Tony's dynamic, I always say this to Jen when we come off like our show or whatever, is because we are so different in so many ways. But it just goes to show, we can still have like a great laugh about stuff, and it's good fun. It's good fun. I'm more of a dive into things feet first without looking at any alternatives. Whereas Tony's way more calculated in what he thinks and says, and I'm just like, nah, man. It's like I'm a bit more Alex Jonesy in that respect. They're turning the frogs gay. That's kind of more my. He wasn't wrong, but he also wasn't right. You know what I mean?
That's fair. And
it's one of those things.
Another thing about the graphic novel for a second, I am very happy to give you 2 of the main characters' roles. Also in the voice
great.
acting.
Look forward to it.
I'm doing the main character, Nora, because not only, do I want to, and it's my graphic novel, but I am very good at voice acting whenever I want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because originally I had role played the entire story on my own.
Yeah, we have film. We have the film.
Wait, what?
We have the footage.
Wait, what?
We have the footage of you role playing the entire thing.
No, you don't. Because
Yeah, we do.
I did a lot of that at my mom's house.
Yeah, You have your phone with you, right?
Yeah. What are you? This is. You're joshing me, aren't you?
What?
You're joshing me, aren't you?
No, I've got it. I've got it all.
Tony Regime with the best comment of the evening.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Oh god, that thread of videos of Tony reacting like to, you can't handle the truth. Yes, I fucking can. I was sat on the couch, right? And Jen was in the next room working, and I made like 6 or 7 videos in a row.
Like that, yeah.
And I sat on the couch breaking my backside laughing. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm getting a no caller ID call. Let me just take this.
Alrighty.
Hello?
Oh, sweet.
Yes?
I'm gonna be honest. I changed the.
Hey, how are you?
The story whenever I was doing.
I'll mute you, but I'll mute you, Irish. Or he muted himself. There you go.
Nope. It's all good.
Yeah. All right. You gonna go work on your? Are you gonna work on your graphic novel?
In a moment. I just also want to point out that
What's that?
Whenever I originally did all this, I was having a bit of a phase.
A phase.
Yep, I was having a Five Nights at Freddy's phase.
What?
A FNAF phase. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I got into the fandom along with the Undertale fandom. It's just a whole fandom thing originally. And then it started to develop. Whenever I decided to go back and start writing the script and all that, I changed a few things up about the characters and all that. Changed the stories a bit to make it not only a little more understandable in the story, but to bring atmosphere.
That's good.
But the main thing I kept is a little bit of the drama on what happened to them, her casualty in the story.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I kept. Because in my opinion, what I did for the Jacksons is that each generation of the ladies in the family had some sort of huge disaster that happens in their lives. Because that's how I decided to do it. And because the thing I call it is the Jackson's curse. And if you'd like me to go into more detail, I can. But if you want me to say it, I will.
Have you ever read the book? Sorry now to interrupt. I just thought of a book that I think you would like if you haven't read it already. Have you ever read The Spiderwick Chronicles?
No, I haven't, but I have. I'm switching accents. Sorry.
It's for about your age group. Let me get it here. I read it when I was about your age, maybe a little bit older than you sorry, how old are you again?
13.
Oh yeah, no, I think I was about the same age because it was when I moved to the countryside and my aunt gave me the set of books. See if I can find a link to it to show you. So it's called The Spiderwick Chronicles. They did make a movie about it, but the movie wasn't great. The books were fantastic, and it was one of the best book series I ever read.
It was a scenario where books definitely better than the movie because they messed up on Percy Jackson. They failed on Percy Jackson.
They also failed on Ready Player One, one of the best books I ever read. But they ruined the movie. The movie was beautiful, but it left out so much. But I get it,
But with Harry Potter, they didn't do too badly, honestly. They did pretty decent because they didn't get rid of all the details in the book. They only got rid of certain things that they couldn't input.
What I found was
hang on a second. I have to answer this question.
Sorry, Johnny.
There is no baby on the call, just so you know. There is no baby.
Excuse me?
Effed up and no-showed. Yes, Mr. Andrat, he is not here.
I'll send you a link to those books. They might be a little bit young for you, though. I'm just thinking because I think your reading level now would be way better than what mine was, or what mine is now, to be honest.
Honestly, I read the book Companion. Have you heard of the book Companion? It's a really good book.
I haven't.
It's basically this book about where this girl, her family had died in a car accident where the car fell. They were on their way to a vacation to New York, and they just fell into the icy lake and all that. Her mother was able to get her out, but she was the only one to survive, unfortunately.
It
And
seems
due to
like
that-
your reading level is much higher than mine is now, let alone back then. So
I
maybe
haven't
the
finished.
Spider Chronicles might bore you, just to say.
Oh,
I don't think so. I
I
think
don't
she would
think
like
so
them.
either because
They're
I love-
awesome, though.
I love drama in a book. I love drama, action, and mystery. But the book is a companion is classified as both a horror and drama because the horror bit is the fact that this girl, I forgot the name of her. I'm just going to call her Abby. Sorry, her name was I forgot. Yeah, I'm just going to call her Abby. She was adopted by these very rich people out of nowhere. And she was meant to be a companion to this girl named Agatha, who was apparently sick. And because of that, and all that, it had a little bit of an impact on her because whenever she had lost her parents and her siblings and all that, she started getting nightmares and scream at night often in her sleep. Yeah, that's a big factor. But when she entered this place, she wasn't having any nightmares at all. After she had just met the woman Lauren. Lauren, whenever I first started reading, sounded very suspicious and how she treated Agatha.
These are a lot of books I haven't read.
Yeah.
I read books like, know.
I read this was in the middle school library, might I add.
The middle school. See, that's the thing. Middle school library for me was so much different. All of ours were like on clay tablets and.
Absolutely. They had
No,
like
I actually had the actual book. I didn't read it online or anything like that.
Their parents had to send them into school with their own candles to read.
Yes.
I don't know if this is the same in other countries, but in Ireland, when my parents were kids, in the school room or whatever that they would learn in, right in the middle of the room, there was a potbelly stove for during the winter to keep the room warm or whatever. And during the winter time, each child would have to bring in a piece of coal every day as their kind of thing to keep the room warm.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody had to do it. I don't know if that was common in the rest of the world, but yeah, that was part of the rules in Ireland. You had to either bring in coal or wood or something like that, which was interesting. But
that is very interesting. A little off topic for a second. Back to the book for a second.
That's not off topic. We're talking about how old we are. Golly.
True. With the book, for Nora, should I give her an Irish accent as well, or leave her with no accent?
You should give her a PhD Tony accent.
What accent would that be?
Martian.
Exactly.
I don't think I know what a Martian accent is. I could do a decent Irish accent.
Oh, can you?
I switched over a few times actually.
Let's hear it. Let's hear your Irish accent.
Let's hear it. I'll rate it.
I am actually trying right now. This is the best I can do at the moment. I'm still practicing.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. It's way, way, way better than JL Warren's one. I can tell you that.
Really?
Even if you sounded like you came from the depths of Italy, you would still have a better Irish accent than JL Warren. Because JL Warren thinks that we all sound like I don't have. Do I have my hat? Oh, I don't have my leprechaun hat with me. Damn.
I got a pink.
But JL Warren thinks we all sound like leprechauns.
I have a pink.
Maybe we do.
Borrow it.
I've got this one's kind of Irishy looking. This one will do. But JL Warren thinks, oh, Jesus, how's it going? Diddly diddle do. That's how JL thinks.
That's not even close to an Irish
Not
accent.
even close, right?
No, that's not even Australian or anything like that. It's not even an accent.
While we're on the subject of accents, right? Let me ask you this. So 3 times in the last 2 days. Now, this has happened to me ever since I moved to Australia, because a lot of people think that Irish people have the stereotypical strong Irish accent. I don't, believe it or not, because I had to kind of change my accent,
right? Yeah, you made
it kind of. So I always had a much more mild accent than my family because of the people I hung out with, and I kind of went in different circles. Like my family you would not understand most of what my brother Phil or Jer would say. You wouldn't understand a word of. Richie has a little bit of an English accent now because he's been living there for like 7-8 years. So he's got a more milder accent. My dad, you wouldn't understand a word that he says. My mom, you might understand a bit. But yesterday, 3 times, once when I was getting a coffee, once when I was in the doctor's office. Oh, maybe it wasn't yesterday. The day before yesterday, sorry. Mm-hmm. Once I was in getting a coffee, The other time I was in the doctor's office, and then after that I had to go and do a motorcycle lesson because I'm going for my higher license. So I had to go. You have to do like set amount of lessons or whatever. All three of them asked me, was I American? And they were like, American, Canadian? I'm like, no, I'm Irish. And they're like, oh, really? Did you live in America? I was like, no. But I explained to them that when I moved here first, I was, my job was working with, people in prison and stuff like that. And, people, I would have to speak through like glass walls and speak through a radio. And people didn't understand what I was saying. So I had to kind of slow down and really concentrate. Like I pronounce ing on the end of words. So I will say saying or walking, whereas most Irish people would say saying or walking. You know what I mean?
A Texan accent, a little bit. It's a little bit like a Texan accent because
a lot of people say that. Yeah, and then I said also I speak to this this Texan guy all day, every day, and I picked up a lot of that, so that's probably part of it. But yeah, so like I don't use a lot of the terminology that most people from my city would use. Like my dad wouldn't say the word most, so he wouldn't say something like I like to go walking most days. He would say I like to go walking most days. He wouldn't put the T at the end.
Okay, so trash the T basically.
Trash the T. Trash the THs. My dad can't pronounce TH. So if your name is Ruth, good luck. You're now Root. If you want to go for a bath, good luck. You're going to get a bat.
So does that mean you can't pronounce PhD Tony?
I don't want a bat.
Does that mean he can't really pronounce PhD Tony? He just pronounced PD Tony?
He could pronounce PhD Tony, but he can't do the TH sound. So he can't say that. He would say dat. Or he can't say like this, he'd say dis. Or over there would be over there. And the reason for it is it's mostly older Irish people. The reason for it is because in our native language, we don't have a TH sound. We don't have the th sound in our native language. So older Irish people in particular find it very hard to pronounce words with those letters in them. Because we've only been speaking English in Ireland for just kind of like about 150, 200 years. And so we still have that holdover from our Irish language that still kind of comes down through. So it's, so yeah, the TH sounds don't work in the Irish language at all. There's a load of different sounds that, don't work.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Also,
so it's an interesting one. So when I pronounce it properly, people think I'm from a different country because they're used to hearing me say this, that, and the other thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. But I remember one night. This will give you an example here, right? Mm-hmm. I was on a stream one night, I think, with your dad, and my dad rang me. And my dad's got a really strong accent. And when I got off the phone, or when I was on the phone with him, everybody was commenting, you sounded totally different when you were on the phone with your dad. And it's true. And a couple of years ago, I had a friend come over, a childhood friend came over to stay with us for a couple of weeks. And he's got a really strong Cork accent. And by the end of it, even Jen couldn't understand what I was saying because I had completely reverted. So that will probably happen, just so everybody that watches my channel is fully aware. I might need to add subtitles to my videos once I get back to Ireland, because Jen's mom has got a really strong accent too.
I don't know. Subtitles have not been good for you.
Subtitles have not been good for me. They have not worked out. So I have to be very careful.
Okay, just quickly, Jesse Kitten, how dare you?
I know, right?
T is beautiful. We're
talking
about the letter, we're talking about the letter T, not the actual T. Daddy and I are big T fans. We understand.
Yes, thank you.
That's a T. How dare you? We need teas and biscuits.
Teas and biscuits all day long. What kind of tea do you like, Constance?
Well, most of the time I usually go for the classic, like black tea. But I also...
Do you go milk and sugar in it too, or?
I usually just put the sweet and low in it. But when it comes to flavored teas, I prefer peach green tea, maybe watermelon tea. I haven't tried that one yet.
That is my favorite tea.
Is amazing. Have you tried the Starbucks?
I haven't. We don't have Starbucks in Australia.
No Starbucks over there.
It's not allowed over here. Yeah, they have really strict laws over here on foreign companies, large companies. So we don't have any Starbucks.
I understand why you're moving.
I know, right? It's
you need the tea.
You need the good tea, and it's really hard. Like I drink strong, milky, sugary tea. That's the Irish way, and you can't get good tea in this country. But finally, I've been able to get my favorite tea from back home again because the shipping's back. But it's like one little box of it's like $20, so I use it sparingly. Yeah, but when I get to Ireland, when I'm over to the US, I'll have to bring you over some really nice Irish tea. See what you think.
Please do. I'll record a video on that, and definitely
that'd be great.
I will definitely share my opinions because never turn down good tea.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Oh, PhD Tony says we do have Starbucks, just not on the West Coast. Oh, it must be a Western Australian rule then. Western Australia is really strict on a lot of stuff. Actually, they have like you can't import most animals to Western Australia. You know, we're really strict.
Interesting. Oh.
We're in trouble now.
Oh, boss is here.
The boss lady showed up.
That's the big boss.
We're having too much of a good time. I guess it means it's time for you to go to bed.
Yeah, I know, but I stay up later than this, honestly.
You're not supposed to.
Have you met me? I stayed up until 1 a.m. drawing.
We'll have to put a stop to that. You can get up when I get up in the morning.
I'm a night owl. I stay up until 11-ish at the least. Mm-hmm. At the least.
All right, you get on to bed now.
Okay. See y'all later. See ya.
See ya. Have a good one.
I cannot wait to hear. All right. Also, with the accent, could you do like a mild accent for the,
do a strong accent.
I can. I can do.
I don't want it to be hard to hear. I want it to be understandable.
I'll make it so that it's obviously Irish, but not too strong, so people won't be like, "Oh, what did he just say?" Mm-hmm. So I'll make it super clear. And I'll send it to you in the next couple of days. I'll just send you a couple of lines and let me know if you're happy. I'll do one Damien and I'll do two Damien, two Dominic, and then you let me know what you like and what you want me to change. All right?
Okay. A little thing about that is that you don't hear them saying anything until Nora gets home.
Sure.
That area. I think that's on page 3 or 2. I don't remember.
I actually have it open right here. Yeah, I think it's on page 3. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Page 3, I think. Yeah.
There's a few times I have them saying the exact same thing, so we'll probably get you recording both of that
and do it overlay. No problem. I can work that out. No worries. I'll get that figured out for you.
Alrighty.
All right.
Well,
good night.
Have a nice night, everyone.
See you later. Take care.
Have a nice day for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's early morning for me.
It's Friday for him. He's in the future.
Well, we're like 7-8 hours apart from Ireland, if I remember correctly, or Australia. I don't remember.
We're a lot of hours.
13 hours, I think.
You're 13 hours ahead of us, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martin H. You have a nice night too. Same thing with you, Adam.
All right.
See you all later.
See ya.
Good night, cutie.
Good night.
Take that crazy one with you. Dogs everywhere. They're fun. No, I'm not calling my kids dogs. I meant the actual dogs. Well, I guess none of them are going to show. They're not going to pop in. Not going to do a thing. So, we can sit here and shoot the shit, but I know all of you guys showed up for a debate that did not happen.
I know.
Not at all shocked. I wish these fools would show up and do the thing and, be honest. But, what can you do?
I'm surprised because when I was on the show with him the other night, he was great. Like, he really was lovely to talk to. I mean, he kind of goes on a little bit, to be fair. Yeah. I mean, he kind of goes off on crazy tangents, but he was, so I had to kind of like reel him in. I probably should have reeled him in a little bit more, but he was really lovely to speak to. Oh, hey, Angie, good to see you. He was really lovely to speak to, and yeah, I had no problem with chatting with him. But hopefully, the next time you'll actually turn up. All going.
That'd be nice. There we go.
Yeah.
You're a master debater.
You got that right.
Anyway,
I never lose, but I also I never just admit defeat. So I do a Donald Trump on it. Even if I do lose and it's evident that I've lost, I'll just go, I won. Okay. You're all wrong. I won. Hey, gosh, I'm Eggfire. Good to see you, my friend. So yeah, that's where we're at, Johnny.
At least we got a little bit of entertainment out of this one here. Now we can, like I said, if you have nothing else better to do, we can sit here and shoot the shit. But if not,
I'm good for like another half an hour or so. I just got to get to the post office, get some stuff to send out stickers to people, and that's all I got to do. I've got, as we say in Ireland, there's nobody on me today, so I can do whatever I damn well please.
That's right. Who bailed? Angie, the Eftupworld bailed. Eftupworld bailed. And then Gary Wybinga came in here and barked a lot, but then we said, here you go, come on the stream. He's like, oh. You know, what are you going to do? Anyway, so yeah. There will be a debate next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is going to be fucking busy for me.
So that's what's on that one?
So next Tuesday, I'm moderating the debate between MC Toon and Schrodinger's cat. And that's going to be on MC Toon's channel.
What's that debate on?
What the proper term is for a group of Karens. So yeah. And then after that, I've got a debate that's got PhD Tony debating Otangelo on Young Earth creationism.
Oh wow, that's going to be good. Yeah, I saw you guys chatting about that. That's going to be awesome.
I think that's going to be really fun. So that should be a good one. Now Otangelo, I'm pretty sure he will show up, and yeah, Craven Wardick, I think so too. I think it's a homeowners association. So
homeowners association of Karens is a pretty good one. The only thing though is homeowners associations are a very American thing. So
this is true
for non-Americans. We get it, we get the joke, but we don't have that same.
So it's not a universal term.
It's not a universal term, whereas like an entitlement of Karens would be.
So yeah, and then Chris Mayer says privilege of Karens.
Privilege is very good.
This is a good one. I like this one here.
I love that.
Caravan of Karens. I see what he did there.
It's not bad at all.
I actually like that one. And then we have this one here, sovereignty of Karens.
I love that. I think that's hilarious.
Then we have a gaggle of Karens. That's a good one. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Let's see here. It's a homeowners. School of Dumb Broads sounds good. Yeah, I agree.
A misery of Karens.
Well, yeah, definitely for us. That's for certain.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, there you go. A bag of crisps of Karens.
Thank you. You win. You win.
What are crisps? Like
crisps are what you people wrongly call chips.
No, we rightly call them chips.
No, not at all. When have you ever chipped something off and it looked like that? Come on, man. What about a passive aggressive of Karens?
That's a good one. It depends. Some of them aren't passive aggressive.
Some of them are just directly to the throat. Like they don't screw around, man. It's did you see that video? There's this a senator in America. I don't recall her name. Senator Sandra Cunningham. She got caught drink driving, and she's just announced that she's fighting it, that she wasn't drunk or whatever. But apparently, the video of her getting pulled over and arrested was a serious Karen episode. So I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know.
Really,
but allegedly. So wasn't she in trouble for something else?
I don't know, but if anybody has this video, send this shit to me.
I have it. We can have a look at it right now if you want.
Let's do this.
I have the link because somebody sent it to me earlier. They were like, you should check this out. She's a total Karen. I was like, oh, okay. And then there was another one where a DA got pulled over and she was an absolute nightmare as well. She was like, I'm your boss. And the cop was like, no, you're not, ma'am.
I like that. Because that's true.
I used to get that all the time, man. Like lawyers would Lawyers learn very quickly in my job that the best thing to do is to just do what you're told, because you get some officers who are total RoboCops and totally up their own ass, and they will make life difficult for lawyers, because the officers chose when cases would come up, unless a judge asked for a specific case.
Right.
And if you fucked with one of the officers, you could be waiting all day. You know what I mean? If you were nice, you'd get away with it. But I had one come in before, and there was one particular officer who was, there's no other way of saying it, just like Donald Trump, a nasty woman. She really was just a nasty, nasty person. She was really a horrible piece of work. And this lawyer was like, you do realize that I'm a higher rank than you on the chain of officers of the court. But we weren't officers of the court. They are. We're not. We were employed by the Department of the Attorney General, which is different.
Right.
And she was like, is that right? Are you in a rush today? And he was like, yes, I'm in a rush. That's why I'm asking you to let me go through. Oh, man, that poor fucker was there till 4 p.m. She would not call him up, man. And it's like, oh, he was such a Karen, but so was she. So it's like, who's the bigger Karen? And that's not.
When two Karens collide against each other, fuck me running.
It was bad. It was bad. Because he complained to my boss about, like, our senior officer was this, like, really chill Dutch guy, and he did not care. He was like, I don't care. She's doing her job. But then she complained to him about the lawyer, and it was like, oh, my God, you two are acting like kids. Like, come on. So, yeah, when two Karens collide, it's like, whew.
That's not good. It's never a safe situation.
Never.
All right, I'm getting this video up.
I'm still trying to figure out. So you're using StreamYard, is it?
Yeah.
So that's not OBS Ninja? That's a different thing, right?
It's a different thing. Yeah.
I've got to set up a StreamYard because OBS Ninja keeps breaking on me.
It's easier. You can't do all the fun stuff you normally would be able to do with it, but it's.
Oh, I don't think you can get StreamYard on a Mac. Actually,
you should be able to.
Oh wait, no, you can't. Sorry, because it's just through the web page, right?
Right.
The same as OBS Ninja.
Right.
And then you. So
all you have to do is all you gotta do is just link it. You just sign in.
Just like the browser, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's this awesome
Let's
video.
have a look at this.
The beeping is amazing.
It's fantastic. It's good for the ears.
Yeah, come on this side.
Great for the ears. I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit.
She said she was driving. She wanted to make the turn, and the car just went into the car.
Oh, so she caused an accident.
License and registration and insurance.
Yeah, she crashed. Yeah.
And do you need any medical attention?
Can you pause just there a second?
Okay.
So just something to point out there. I wasn't an EMT or anything, but I did do a lot of community ambulance work back in Ireland because I lived in a rural area. That was the first thing that we were always told when you come up on an incident, and especially motorcycle incidents. If somebody's wobbling around, don't assume automatically that they're drunk or intoxicated, because 9 times out of 10, it could just be a head injury. And I've been reviewing motorcycle crashes for the shock. Could be a whole load of stuff. Because when your adrenaline rushes and then dumps, you can end up shaky. So anyway, just wanted to point that out just for anybody out there who's wondering.
Your license is right here.
Right here.
Yeah. So I need you to take it out of your phone. Have you had anything to drink today? No? Is there a reason why you're swaying and you have slurred speech and then you're having difficulty to perform basic directions?
Probably because I'm very cold.
You're very cold? Okay.
I'm very cold.
All right. Well,
that's a good one. I'm very cold. That's why I'm slurring and swaying, because I'm chilly.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's like there was a guy driving down the road. I don't know if this is like true or not. I mean, it's probably not. It's just one of those kind of funny urban myths. But a cop was driving along behind a car, and the car was swerving in and out. So he pulled him over and he said, why were you swerving in and out? Are you drunk? He said, no, I was just warming up my tires because it's slippy. And he was like, oh, okay, can you jump out of the car? And they did a field sobriety test. And they were like, "Why are you swaying back and forth?" He goes, "I'm just warming up my feet." I thought it was
That's
brilliant.
funny.
We're gonna have someone respond here and perform a field sobriety test to determine, see if you're impaired. Okay.
Do you have any medical conditions or anything like that? No problems?
I know of.
Not that you know of? Okay, so just do me a favor. Just step right here. I don't want you stepping on any cracks or anything like that. Just step right here in this box. If you can, just put your feet together and your hands down by your side. All right, when I tell you to, you're going to pick which leg, right or left. It's your choice. I'm not telling you to do either one. What I want you to do is I want you to pick either leg you choose. I want you to pick your foot up approximately 6 inches off the ground. Keep your foot parallel to the ground, and I want you to look down at your toes and count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Hold on. I'm going to demonstrate for you. I just need you to stand with your feet together, hands down by your side until I'm done telling you, okay?
So here's a part where I would fail the field sobriety test. I have a bad leg. My left leg does not work the way it's supposed to because I have a pinched nerve in my back. This I would automatically fail this portion, and I haven't had a drink since like 4 years ago. That's why I don't like field sobriety tests. They're designed to make you fail.
Yeah, exactly. There's a concept at law in America that the name I can't recall. I remember reading about the difference between how intoxication is dealt with in Australia and Ireland and the UK versus the US. It's something to do with the Constitution, I think, but I'm still a bit shaky on it because it depends on legal alcohol limits. In Ireland, they just stick a bag in your face until you blow into it, and
Right.
If you beep, and you're done, regardless of your level of sobriety and how much you handle your alcohol or whatever. But the problem with field sobriety tests as well is there's so many factors. Like you could be nervous. In my case, I'm, well, not so much now, thankfully, but I used to be really, really top heavy, and I used to walk with a cane. There's no way I could do a field sobriety test. I'm blind in one eye, so touching my nose with my finger would be easy. Things like that. And so that's a really good point. I think it's very outdated.
Oh,
It really
absolutely.
is.
Well, it's not that it's outdated. They use it because they want to catch people. They want to be able to arrest people. But anyway.
No problem. So when I tell you to, you'll raise your foot approximately 6 inches off the ground. You look down at your toes. You're going to count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and 3, 1,000, and so forth till I tell you to stop. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate for you. So watch me. When I tell you to, I'm going to raise my right foot for demonstration purposes. You can raise your right or left. It doesn't matter. I just need you to stand with your feet together, hands down by your side. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to raise my right foot. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, and so forth until I tell you to stop. Do you understand? Okay, ready? Begin. You're what? I know. Okay. All right, stop. All right, just step back a little bit. The next thing I need you to do, if you can you just stand with your right foot in front of your left foot, heel to your toe? All right, just stay like that while I'm talking to you.
All right, Gary, email me at theplothole1@gmail.com. You can get in here and you can have a cordial discussion.
Absolutely. I will clear my day.
Let's get it done. Come on, Gary. I will be happy to give you the opportunity to have your say with the Irish Demon here. Gary Wybinga, theplothole1@gmail.com. Send me an email and I'll get you on the show. But yeah, you've been invited several times. Don't hide in the chat. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so when I tell you to, you're going to take 9 heel to toe steps. Each step you take, you're going to touch your heel to your toe, and you're going to count each step. 1, 2, ma'am. Just stand with the right foot in front of your left foot, please.
Stay out there with someone else. This is easily turning into.
Ma'am, I need you to stand with your right foot in front of your left foot.
Do you mind if I ask a question?
Absolutely, go ahead. What was the question?
I wanted to know if Director Shea.
What does Director Shea have to do with anything right now?
Well, because I can see that you're looking for something that isn't there.
Okay.
All right.
So Director Shea has 0 to do with this stop though right now, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. So I need you to stand with your right foot in front of your left foot. No, face me. Face me. I I need you to stand with your right foot in front of your left foot. Hands down by your side. Put your right foot in front of your left foot.
Yeah, because I'm shaking.
Ma'am, I need you to put your right foot in front of your left foot, please.
I'm feeling unsteady.
Okay. But I'm still asking you. I asked you if you had any medical conditions. You said no. And now while we're doing the test, now you're feeling unsteady.
You can feel steady at any time.
Okay.
You can feel unsteady.
Okay.
At any time.
I know that. That's why I'm asking you.
In a car accident.
Okay, that's why I'm asking you. But didn't you? She refused medical attention, didn't she?
I thought I was fine, but I
Okay.
can see that I'm not.
You can see now that you're not?
I can see now that I'm not as steady as I should be.
Okay. So what's going on now? What are we feeling unsteady about?
Go ahead, let's finish this test.
Well, I'm asking you if you need the medical attention. We're going to get you the medical attention.
Okay, I'd like to get medical.
Okay, no problem. Oh, yeah.
This has got to be the most boring traffic stop in the world.
It's pretty, yeah, there's not a lot going on there yet. See, there's so many different elements to it. And, you could say, it could be head injury, shock, low blood sugar, whatever. It is important to bear in mind. And of course, while, past behavior doesn't condemn somebody in the future, it does show propensity to act a certain way. She was convicted of DWI in 2006 with a blood alcohol reading 3 times the legal limit. So,
yikes.
Take that as you will. It doesn't prove that she's done it this time, but it does show a propensity to act a certain way. So, just something to bear in mind. And she's 70 years old as well. And she, so she might not be able to handle alcohol as well as she might have once done.
Yeah, she may have had 2 Chardonnays.
That might be all it is. I know I get tipsy after just a couple of drinks. I can't handle drinks since I had that surgery. So, I mean, I can handle it, but not as well as I used to. That's for sure.
These field sobriety videos would be better if the suspect puked all over the place. I tend to agree. Let's see what else we got going on here. It's a beautiful fence.
It's a pretty nice fence.
It's a very good fence. She asked for medical attention. All right, let's give you medical attention.
She is going to the hospital right now.
Going to the hospital to get her blood drawn, show how drunk she is.
I don't see. This is something that I've. Can you pause that a sec? I can't hear shit.
Yeah. Sorry.
All I can hear is wind. It's something I don't understand about America. I've always wondered about this because it's obviously totally different in Ireland and it's different here in Australia too. I don't understand why people get taken to jail for DUI, unless, of course, they crash and really injure somebody, something very serious. Yeah. But it seems like people, no matter what happens, you get arrested and taken away by the police. In Ireland, they just take your car and they leave you, they either bring you to the nearest town or wait for somebody to come pick you up. I don't understand why she needs to be put in cuffs and stuck in the back of a police car or in this case, an ambulance. It doesn't make sense to me because she's not being aggressive or... it might just be because they have to protect themselves against, potential harm for sure. But I mean, I remember, people being put in the back of a police car, no handcuffs. They're like, you're going to behave yourself. Yeah, I will, and they just stick them in the back of the car and it's no big deal.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Taking people to jail for that to me just seems a bit over the top. I don't know.
It's about money, number one, because you got a bond or bail out, right? So that's money. Sure. That's money that's. And here's the thing. I don't know how many people really understand the bond and bail system in the States. Some people in the States don't even understand. I've always told people if you can afford your own bail, pay it yourself. Don't see a bondsman, right? Because that's just money you're throwing away.
Yeah.
Now, the way that it works, I'm not sure how it works in elsewhere, but the way it works in the States, you get arrested, they bond, they set your bail. If you pay your bail, bond yourself out, basically. When it comes time for you to show, right, your court date for whatever, either the arraignment or the actual hearing, you get your money back.
Yep.
That money's returned to you.
It's a bit different here. It depends on the seriousness of the situation. So over here, if you get arrested, the only person that can set bail is a judge, in some scenarios a justice of the peace, usually a magistrate judge. And what would happen then is there's two types. There's many types of bail, but there's two of the main types: is just regular bail and then surety bail. This is stuff that I dealt with, 100 times a day back in my old job. But so a regular bail would be you smash the window and now you are being charged with I don't know, criminal damage. So you could get what's known as a notice to appear. So then you don't actually have any bail conditions. You don't have to pay any bond. You just have to appear in court. And if you don't, you'd be in breach of that, and then you'd be fined for that as well. The second one is bail, regular bail, which is where you're on a bail of $5,000, let's say. You don't have to pay it, but if you don't appear for court, you then owe the court that money. And then and you could get a fine and other charges on top of that. Then the last type is called a surety bail. And that is the kind of bail that you have in America where you're on a bail of $5,000. You can't get out of jail till you pay that $5,000.
Right.
And that's rare. That's only for really serious offenses on the lower end. And then really serious offenses on the higher end. It's not like in some places where you could have a $2 million bail, and if somebody pays you get out of jail. That's just not going to happen in Australia. They'd be like, okay, no bail. And that's it. That's just straight off the bat. If it's a very serious crime,
right,
just no bail at all. You get none whatsoever.
Yeah, everything here, outside of ticket offenses, right? So if it's a arrestable offense, and there's a lot of things that suddenly become arrestable offenses. You have to see the judge. The drunk tank sucks over in our state, especially where we're at. They take you to the shittiest county jail. It's not fun. But in reality, all this is just cash grab, right? Yeah. There are certain things about DUI and DWI. It depends on what state you're in, what county and whatnot. But here in Texas, there are a few places that if you are driving while under the influence, there are places that you want to get pulled over, because the smaller municipalities, like these little rinky-dink podunk towns, they won't give you a DUI. They won't arrest you for DUI. They'll ask you to step out of your car, and then they'll arrest you for public intoxication. Now, the reason why they do that is because PI money goes directly to the arresting precinct, so they get all that money. Whereas if you get charged with driving while intoxicated or driving under the influence, that money goes to the state, and it gets filtered down. So it's a game they play. Yeah, it's a game they play. But here in the States, our justice system is all about money. It's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Does this thing spice up, or is it the same old, same old? Have you seen this?
I've not seen this.
All right, let's see what we got.
Well, I'm asking you. Okay, I'd like to get another phone. Okay, no problem.
Somebody get this guy a windsock.
Yeah, right?
Right now, at this time, we don't get placed under suspicion of DUI, okay?
All right, just put your hands behind your back.
No.
Listen.
No.
Please.
Listen, let's not. Just put your hands behind your back.
I looked that up, brother.
Car accident. She said she was dizzy.
Okay.
Just
breathe.
Okay? Thank you.
I was so hoping she was going to put up a fight.
And on stop 4, we're going to have one under with suspicion of DUI. Can we have a people officer respond to this location for a gun now, please?
Are they walking her to the police station? How far is the car?
That's it. That was uneventful. I was hoping for fireworks. And
she claimed afterwards in her bail hearing that she turned and crashed into a snowbank. But now, first of all, there's no snow, so that would I
didn't see any snow there.
Be the first indicator that may be a porcupine. And the other thing is she directly hit two vehicles, so not snow. So it raises a lot of questions. Her history, obviously, having done this before, might suggest, let's say if it was a jury and she was asked, have you ever been done for DUI before? And she said yes, they may take a certain view because it shows propensity to act a certain way. So they may take it that way. Who knows? I've seen this happen before multiple times, and usually as soon as, the person seems like they're on the straight and narrow and they're cool and there's no drama, and then the prosecutor asks them, so have you ever been done for DUI before? Oh yeah, 3 times. Okay. And then you just see the jury go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a fairly solid chance he did it this time then.
Yeah. You should never say anything. You should never say anything. You ever get pulled over, don't talk. Just don't talk.
Yeah, don't say shit.
Never. Never. Name, rank, and I would say.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's certain things that, in my opinion, are totally fine. Give your name, give them your license, and all of my lawyer friends say it to me. All of my police friends say it to me because they know how other cops act, and a lot of cops are dicks. It's just the way it is, and they do use, and they're trained to use. Trained to ask questions in such a way that it can be used against somebody. So your best bet is if a cop asks you, where are you coming from? You just say, look, with all due respect, don't be an asshole. That's the first thing, because it's still a human being. So if you act like an asshole, they're going to react a certain way. So you go, look, sir, with all due respect, I would rather not talk about my day. And if they say, where are you going to? Sorry, same applies. I would rather just keep my own business to myself.
Yeah.
Not trying to be rude, not trying to be difficult. I just would rather not talk about my day. Do you have anything to hide? I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about my day. We'll deal with whatever you need to deal with.
So
and
that's one thing. That's one thing.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, that's one thing that these frauditors do that I agree with. Right. So the whole I don't answer questions. Now the way they go about it is completely inappropriate and wrong. Right. Simply saying, hey, officer, respectfully declined to answer questions. Here's my driver's license. Here's my proof of insurance. Here's my registration. Whatever.
Absolutely.
That's it. And yes or no, sir, I'll take the ticket. Look, this is one thing that I have told so many people so many times, and I hope my kids get this. You are not going to win in the moment. You're not going to win. Period.
Yep. Never. You're never going to win at the side of the road.
Never. Your best bet is to be as. Look, here's the thing. If a cop comes up to you acting like a dick, just a complete dick, and you think that, well, I'm going to act like a dick back and I'm going to win. You're not. Cops got a gun. Cops shoot you.
You're not going to win.
Taser. You're not going to win.
And
period.
when it goes to court, the judge is going to believe him. So you need to, like I've been pulled over a few times, especially on the motorbike. That's over here in Ireland, you never get touched on a motorbike. Cops don't go near motorbikes. Over here, they do. And I've been pulled over because I had a really loud, kind of crazy looking bike. So I got pulled over all the time. And they'd ask, where are you coming from? Usually I would show them my badge because, at least they understand that I'm not trying to be a dick.
Right.
And I'd be like, look, man, I with the greatest respect in the world, I don't answer questions. It's as simple as that. I was like, it happened recently and I got pulled over and it was a young cop and he was like, so where are you coming from? I was just like, I'm sorry, man. I don't see how that's got anything to do with what you stopped me for. I was like, what is this, a drink driving thing? They had the big drink driving van. I was like, I'll happily do whatever you need me to do. I was like, but I'm not answering any questions. I haven't done anything wrong. So let's do what we got to do and I'll be on my way. And you just be respectful. You might not like the guy. You might hate the guy. But if you act like an asshole, it's just going to affect you. So look after yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. That's going to give them more cause to fuck with you.
Exactly. And the thing is, that guy might have just come from a horrific event earlier in the day, and now he's on road duty. He might be in a really bad frame of mind because he's a human being. You have to remember that. He is I've seen some horrific shit when I was in the job. He's a human being, and you carry that stuff with you. And then when somebody's getting all Karen-y over handing over their license, you're like, you're in your mind, you're probably thinking like, you have no idea what I just dealt with. Give me your fucking license. Just stop messing around.
Right.
And they're not supposed to do that, of course, but they're humans.
Well, right.
So if you just say, look, and what I usually say to cops, and it usually gets a bit of a chuckle, is look, I've worked in the courts for the last 5 years. I know how these things work. This was my job, and I dealt with lawyers all day, and I know I'm better off just saying nothing. I know you're not trying to catch me out or anything, but you know how it goes, man. Like, and because I've seen cops lie on the stand and then joke about it afterwards. Yeah. So I'm not going to fall. And I've said it to him. I was like, you know what some of these lads out here are like, and they'd be like, okay, because they know that I know, and I'm not like, oh, you cops lie and blah blah blah. I just say, look, we both know what I'm talking about here, and they do, and they kind of usually laugh and they know the story. So I tend to I just be respectful. You might hate the guy, but just be like, hey, look, dude, I'd rather not talk about personal stuff. I'm sure you're a perfectly nice guy and everything, but I just want to give you my license, do the breath test, and be on my way. Car's legal, no dramas.
All right, so that was one field sobriety test. Here's another one that I think is going to be more eventful. Now, stop me if you've seen this one. This is probably going to get me demonetized, but whatever. I don't care. Have you seen this one?
No, I'm just wondering why she pulled over Yosemite Sam. Well, here's the thing. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be able to recite the alphabet backwards.
No.
I'm just trying to think of it.
You've never seen the show.
I've never seen that. That's it. I love that. No, I've never seen that. That's hilarious.
Reno 911. Yes, PhD Tony. It's a joke. It's from a show called Reno 911.
Have you ever seen the one What is Drugs?
I don't think so.
Look that up. What is drugs? Or the most famous police interaction, I think, in the world is probably the just waiting for a mate. There's this guy in Australia, pissed as a coot, and his car is crashed up onto like this concrete bollard in the middle of a car park, and he's just sitting there like this in the car. And the cop comes over to him and he's like, what's going on here, mate? And he's like, just waiting for a mate. And he's like, what? He's like, just waiting for a mate. I'm not driving, I'm just waiting for a mate. And like the car is fucking smoking. And the guy's just sitting there, just waiting for a mate. You got to check it out. I'll find it. I'll send it to you. It's absolutely hilarious.
Well, I had fun, even though Flurfy McFlurfer didn't show up.
Absolutely. This is without a doubt one of the most famous police interactions of all time. It's a bit of an Aussie. What would you say? It's a bit of Australian culture, if nothing else. But I just sent you the link. It is just
now. Is this a real one or is this like?
Oh, this is legit. Yeah, this is real.
It's not like the one I just showed you, but that was funny. Fucking Reno 911. I remember the first time I showed that to people, they were like, "What the hell? I can't believe." It's like, come on, it's a fucking TV show. You know this. No, it's not.
Yeah, people are silly sometimes.
People can be dumb.
I can't believe I've never seen that show.
Man, I can't believe you've never seen that clip, because that clip is made rounds at least 100 times. Because that Reno 911 was late 90s. Was it late 90s or early 2000s? It was early 2000s, I think.
New to me. I've never ever seen that. Oh, Zach Galifianakis was in it.
Yeah, there were a few people in that show. I can't believe you haven't seen that one.
No, I'm just loading some now to watch later. That's hilarious.
Yeah. All right. This is the last one we're gonna watch, then we'll let everybody get out of here.
Roger that.
I have tomorrow's dingleberries to
Yeah, I've got to film some shit too, actually.
Yeah, you are, man.
That's fucking hilarious.
Just to clear it up for the chat, that's in Australia, so the driver's seat is on the opposite side to America. Just for people who think that he's it's
on the wrong side.
It's on the correct side, yeah. Just to clear it up for people who thinks he's in the passenger seat, he's actually in the driver's seat.
It's on the wrong side. We get it.
It's on the correct side of the vehicle, yeah. It's on the wrong side of the vehicle. It's actually being proven scientifically that you're wrong. So anyway, that's actually I think it actually technically is the wrong side, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's a classic. You know, the funny thing is he keeps pointing, he's like, just waiting for a mate. He's gone in there. And there's nothing there. It's like it's just a huge car park. There's nothing there. It's man. But you see the difference in the interaction. Like I've seen quite a few drink driving related incidents here, videos in court and stuff, and the police are always very like, all right, man, jump out of the car, even if people are being belligerent and stuff. But like, can you imagine doing that in some parts of the US? You'd be dragged out and put on your ass in a second, man. It's, you know,
sometimes it depends. It depends on the cop.
It depends. Yeah, sure. I think probably, you know, we see so much of those interactions on the internet and stuff that we forget that there's, you know, 10 million other interactions that year that didn't go like that. It's kind of like,
I don't know. I don't know about 10 million, maybe
whatever.
Maybe like 10,000, but whatever.
Maybe. I don't know. I just
masturbator. No, the FLERF is a no-show. He did not show up. No flat earther. What does this have to do with the shape of the earth? You know, it shows that people in Australia drive on the wrong side of the road because they're upside down. Therefore, not flat earth.
Exactly. I'm being suspended by wires here. So
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So Heat Shield is busting your balls about drink driving. Says there's that phrase again, drink driving. We're just gonna let that slide.
What's wrong with drink driving? What's wrong with that term?
We call it drunk driving.
Okay. There's a reason for it. I can't remember. So the difference, and there's actually, if anything, drunk driving is the incorrect term, because in Ireland, where we use the term drink driving, in the UK we use the term drink driving, and in Australia we use the term drink driving, is because you don't have to be drunk. You just have to be over the legal limit of alcohol. So
here
drunk
in the States,
driving
though,
implies that you're drunk, but you don't have to be drunk.
Yeah, I understand, but here in the States, if you get caught with any kind of substance or alcohol or whatever, you're considered drunk. Doesn't matter. You could have taken a little taste, a little snifter of whiskey, and you just like rubbed it on your lips. Oh, drunk driver. Yeah, I'm not even fucking. That's not even an exaggeration.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's that much of a cash grab. Yeah.
Yep. That's the explanation that I've heard. The difference being that drink driving implies that you have consumed alcohol and driven, regardless of your level of intoxication, right. Whereas drunk driving implies that you are drunk, or, you know, you're drunk at the wheel. So there is a distinct difference. And from what Johnny O said, it's shown in how it's dealt with by the police in the United States. So
right, and I do agree that people shouldn't drink and drive. I agree with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Or even smoke weed and drive. I know some people will disagree with me. I have friends that say, "Oh man, I smoke when I drive after smoking. I drive so much better." And I'm like, if I try to drive after smoking, I probably wouldn't be able to start the car. So it's a stupid thing to suggest that people should be intoxicated in any capacity while controlling a vehicle. To me, look, most people know the effects because you see it on the news and everything. I've had to sit through court cases. I'm talking a lot of court cases where people have been horrifically injured or killed. And in most cases, it's either because of excessive speed or alcohol or drugs, or a mixture of the two. Right. In almost all, I think there was one case where there was two cases that I sat through where it was somebody texting while driving, but all of the others, from minor injuries up to very serious injuries and death, have been a result of either intoxication or speeding. Right. And so that's why I don't speed anymore. I used to, hand up, I used to speed all the time because I love going fast. I never drunk drive. I could never do that. But
I'm not going to sit here and say that I was a saint. When I was younger, I used to do a lot of stupid shit. Not proud of it by any means. I probably should have been in jail several times over for as many times as. And you never set out like, I'm going to go get drunk and drive home. It's never set out that way. And I could try and sit there and rationalize and make all the excuses in the book, but it was just being stupid. That's all there was to it. And I'm lucky that I didn't hurt someone or hurt myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had situations like that where I look back and I cringe at how fast I used to drive. When I was like 17, I had a little hot hatch, and I used to go down those back roads in the east of Cork County, which is like rough roads, at like 120, 130, 140 kilometers per hour. And there you go. Clifton Manley says speeding does not kill, lack of skill kills. Not true. I'll give you a scenario, shall I? It was a guy here. It was about, I guess it would have been a couple of years ago now, and he was traveling almost twice the speed limit, which was an 80 speed limit zone. He was traveling about 140, 150, and he was on a motorcycle. And because of the excessive speed, he ended up losing the back tire, in that the tire literally blew because the road conditions weren't appropriate for traveling at that speed with that kind of tire in that place under those conditions. And he ended up in a wall basically, and that was, lights out instantly. And he could have been a very skillful driver. And the reality is we can, and I know you're probably just having a joke there or whatever, but we can talk semantics all day long. The reality of the matter is that if you break the speed limit, you are way more likely to be involved in a crash than if you don't. For example, you're in a vehicle, you're traveling at a higher speed than the posted limit. Your stopping distance, whether you're fucking Michael Schumacher or a brand new driver, your stopping distance is way, way, way more. You, like, for every few miles per hour you go over it, you can add a couple of meters onto your stopping distance. A kid runs out in front of you, you're going to have less time to stop and avoid that incident. Guess who goes to jail? You will. So, it's, so we can play the semantic game, basically. I know you don't mean it that way, I'm sure. Well, maybe you do, I don't know. But
I can say that I hope you don't mean
all
it.
day long, but
I hope you don't mean it that way. I do see the speed limit chill and all that shit, and that's all well and good. If you hear just a troll, that's fine. Do your thing.
Speed limit. How do speed limits kill? That's really. I'd like to actually hear. I'd like to actually hear your
no, Clifton Manley. Nobody's talking lack of skill. It's not about lack.
It's got nothing to do with lack of skill. You could be the most skilled. You could be Michael Schumacher. You could be fucking Lewis Hamilton.
Hang on a second. You want to talk about lack of skill? Tell that to fucking Richard Petty.
Tell that to Dunlop. Tell it to all these loads of people. You know what I mean?
Skilled drivers who've been seriously injured. Like I said, Dale Earnhardt dead. Why? Because he was going way too fast and hit a fucking turn, hit a curve, and he was one of the most skilled drivers out there.
See, I'm just can I just interject here, because I am going to put money on it. I don't know Clifton. I know your name, but I don't know you. I'm going to bet money that you either are Australian or you live in Australia, because what you just said is something that I always see Aussies saying, and it is something that drives me fucking crazy, and I'm going to tell you why. So he said, you're busy driving to the speed limit, so too busy looking at the speedo on your car to stick to the limit. Two things that I want to say here, first of all. It's a speed limit, not a target. You don't have to be driving at 100 Ks in 100 zone. You're allowed to go that fast if you want to. Number two, if you can't control your speed and maintain your speed in your vehicle without having to constantly look at the speedo, you shouldn't be driving.
Right.
You shouldn't be on the limit all the time. So you shouldn't have to keep looking at your speedo. If you can't control, you're talking about a lack of skill. If you can't control your vehicle without having to constantly look at the dial to make sure that you're traveling the speed limit or below it, you shouldn't be driving. It's as simple as that. Again, it's a limit. If you sat there at 95, 97, you'd be fine. You probably wouldn't have anything to worry about. You wouldn't have to. So I always get that and I'm not shitting on Aussies here, but I always hear Aussies say that. Oh, well, if people have to look at their speedo constantly, one glance at your speedo can kill. Oh, come on, dude. That's silly. I'm sorry now, man, but that's silly. How long does it take to glance down at your speedo? Come on. That's
so I don't know about Australia or overseas, but speedo means something completely different in the States.
Oh yeah, it's underwear there, isn't it? Well, I know, swimming, budgie smugglers.
Swimming,
yeah. So when you're looking down at your speedometer, again, you're talking about skill here. If you don't have the skill to be able to check your speed and adjust it in a couple of seconds, then you shouldn't be driving, man. I'm sorry, I don't know how to break it to you. This is very basic. This is basic driving skills. So if
really
you're
is
skilled, and if you're commenting on other people's skill, maybe you should look at your own skill, man. It is a speed limit, not a speed target. You don't have to be going 100. If you can go 100 and maintain that speed without having to constantly look at your speedo, then good for you. Over here, I've noticed if you go even 5 below the speed limit, people start flashing at you, beeping at you, getting frustrated. Right. That's their problem. You do you. If you can't do it, if you don't have the skill to drive, don't do it. It's as simple as that.
Right. Skydiver Tanner says, I mean, for me, speedos are a distraction.
Fair enough. They can be pretty distracting, all right. Especially like, if you're in a business meeting and somebody walks in speedos, you probably get distracted there.
Yeah, well, for certain.
I agree with you there, Clifton. Driving to the conditions is what you should be doing. Absolutely. But again, like the basics of driving, you have to be able to maintain your speed and then you're a stay upright instructor. All right, man. Well, I'm not going to comment on that, but like I'm talking about very basic stuff here. You need to be able to control your vehicle. It's as simple as that. And if you can't do it, then going way below the speed limit is a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong.
Well, yeah. So there's a speed minimum and there's a speed limit, right? In the States, we have it's an implied minimum, and we have like freeway driving. It's considered, you have multiple lanes for a reason. Those lanes aren't there just because their lanes are there, right? So each one of them has a design purpose. If you're on a 3-lane road, for instance, on a freeway that has three lanes minimum going one way, you have your far right lane, which is going to be for your little bit slower traffic, but mainly that's for entering and exiting the freeway. That's so people have room to speed and slow, be able to get on and off. Your middle lane is where you're supposed to be your general cruising driving, where you whatever, and then the left lane is going to be your passing lane. The fuck, exactly. Man, we sound like old guys. Let's get the fuck out of
here. Some people call it the overtaking lane, and that's probably some people call it the fast lane. It's not the fast lane; it's the passing lane. Like, Johnny, just before we go, right? Just for clarity, because this is a good point, right? So you're talking about like speed limits kill, blah 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 blah. I just sent Johnny a photograph of a road in Ireland. And when Clifton says drive to the conditions, I agree 100%. You absolutely should. I know what stay upright is. Trust me, I know what it is. But that's why I'm kind of interested in why you say that speed limits would kill, and why that just that comment you said about constantly looking at your speedometer. That you ride bikes, I ride bikes. You know how it goes. You can lose yourself in terms of speed on a motorcycle. So it's really easy. It's way easier to lose your speed on a motorbike than it is on a car. That's what I've found. And constantly looking down at your speedo is dangerous. I agree. So the simple answer there is drive slow enough that you don't need to worry about that. It's only a couple of Ks, right?
Logical hillbilly. I followed a guy I thought was drunk driving. He was all over the road. He nearly hit a car, then went into the ditch. That's when the woman's head popped up. Oh, jeez. Man. Yeah.
The old blow drive.
Yeah.
I sent you that photo just now.
Boom.
But it just goes to show that, sometimes just because it's a posted limit or whatever the case may be, doesn't necessarily mean that it's the safest option, because like that's 80 kilometers per hour. I wouldn't go more than 40 down that. That road is, you know what I mean?
It looks a little bumpy.
It is. Craven Mordick says looking at speedos while driving is dangerous. That is very true.
Yep. Listen, look at this. All right, let's get out of here. All you guys want to hear a couple old dudes talk about
speed limits,
drive, and then I'll take you on outside.
All these young people going way too fast on the road there.
Damn whippersnappers
with their damn, I don't know, fast cars and shit.
Fast cars and racing and all that shit. All right, I tell you what, everybody. I think MC Tune has he's got a debate going on right now. So go check out the tune. I appreciate everybody showing up, even though the FLERF didn't show up. What are you gonna do? Next week, though, I'll be on MC2 channel moderating that debate between Schrodinger and Tune, and then directly after that will be the debate between PhD Tony and Otangelo on Young Earth. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Be awesome.
With your motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
Yep. All right. Again, thanks everybody coming out. Appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate the likes and comments and all that stuff. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. Irish Demon, we'll see you. Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess my tomorrow, your evening. Your evening.
Why? What am I doing?
Do you usually always stream Friday morning?
Yeah. At some stage. I know Huge Arse has a stream going on, I think at the same time. So I'm gonna wait for him to finish his one, or I'll start earlier than him. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But I'm gonna get out of here, do some work, and catch you guys later.
Yep, I'm gonna do the same.
All right.
Cheers.
Take
everybody.
care. See you, folks.